Rogan had Neil Brennan on his latest podcast episode, and they were discussing the COVID restrictions and vaccination mandates, and he decided to bring up Howard Stern. So I'm going to play this and give you my thoughts on it, but and I'm going to have to correct Rogan on some things he says about Stern here. But let's go ahead and see what Joe Rogan had to say about Howard Stern.
Best suggestions in terms of what we should do to preserve health. But the reality of respiratory viruses is you cannot contain them. They've never been contained. No one has ever successfully contained a respiratory virus. If people are allowed to walk, and they're allowed to talk, and they're allowed to eat, they're gonna fucking spread it. No matter what draconian rules they put down in Australia or in China, it fucking spreads. It burns through the people, and then, and a lot of virologists and people that are experts in respiratory diseases were saying this at the very beginning of the pandemic. They were saying, listen, this has got to burn through the population. And most people didn't want to accept that. They were like, no, there's got to be a better way. No, there's no better way. When you have a virus that spreads through people breathing on each other, it just burns through people. You know, if you have the option to be on a ranch, if you've got a ranch in Texas and you got all your food out there and water and you could just fucking stay by yourself for 2 years, yeah, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Howard Stern did, right? Didn't he
I don't even know. Is that what he did?
Went to the Hamptons and just stayed put.
Yeah.
Built a studio out there, did his show from out there.
Yeah.
There was a photo of him at a restaurant like recently. It was like the first time he's out in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't, it was, I not like I felt bad for I just don't know I don't know who did it well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what country did it well. Whenever I go Sweden and then
So that was him talking about how Howard Stern locked himself in his house for 2 years because he was so afraid of getting COVID. It wasn't his house in the Hamptons. It was his house in Florida. He also has a house in the Hamptons that I think he's back at now. But for those 2 years, he hunkered down in Florida at his mansion and built a studio there. You know, he was against podcasting and doing a show from home. It's hilarious to me. He picked to live in a red state and not stay in New York. And I've always been of the kind of conspiracy belief that Howard never actually got the vaccine himself and that he just wanted everybody else to get it. So he thinks he's covered on that. And because if he was vaccinated, which he claims to be, and there's no picture of it, then what would he be afraid of? I don't understand that part. But he did come in studio to do the one interview with Bruce Springsteen. But that was Joe Rogan talking about Howard Stern. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.